I think what's special about the Rushton Woods Preserve is that it is multi-purpose. It's kind of this perfect microcosm that all works together.
To see such an expanse of green space and of protected land so close to an urban area.
Now we have the farm within the 86 acres, and it's surrounded by beautiful habitat, including a little stream, early succession woodlands and mature woodlands. When my husband and I first moved here and started a family, we could see that this beautiful countryside was probably prone to development if somebody didn't do something. We acquired this property under the umbrella of the Willistown Conservation Trust in the early 2000s. Shortly after that, we came up with the idea of creating a farm within the preserve.
There was always questions about whether farm was part of the mission of the trust and agriculture, but the agricultural lands here are so vital and so valuable, and they've been disappearing so fast that we really wanted to be able to get a small-scale organic farm operation onto one of those lands. We understood aesthetically we wanted this to be an introduction to agriculture on conserved land. So it was designed with cutting gardens, it was designed with herb gardens, it was designed to be able to grow 20,000 to 30,000 pounds of food. Here we have an example of our cutting garden that's actually a kitchen garden as well. A lot of herbs, we have some fruits in here, so it complements the rest of the farm. We have a lot of the fields lined with wildflower plantings, and through here you can see an example of some plants that have been planted here intentionally with the hope of attracting pollinators and creating habitat for the birds.
There's so much that lives on the farm. As a biologist, we tend to focus on specific uses that have always left out the agriculturalist. Here at Rushton, I saw an opportunity for me to continue studying ecology, but at the same time see how the agriculture part of that landscape can be done in a more sustainable way, in a more ecologically friendly way.
What we're really doing is we're farming the soil here, and the vegetables, or the quality of the vegetables, is a byproduct of how well we're stewarding or managing the soil. Soil gets cemented onto the garlic pretty rapidly after picking.
Obviously there's no kind of pesticides sprayed. We want to be minimalistic in terms of our inputs. We're trying to limit the amount of machinery that we have going over the ground.
Here is a field where we just harvested our garlic from. Now we'll turn this field over, plant cover crop, keeps the weeds down, and allows us to plant green manure, if you will, something that when turned back into the soil will help restore nutrients, which is a vital part of organic farming.
So exciting, so exciting.
Willistown Conservation Trust Community Farm Program was created as a way to grow food for donation and to engage the community through a community-supported agriculture. Community members come out to pick up a share of what we're harvesting. Every week there's something different in the share, something that's unique to that time of year.
We've had a share by ourselves for quite a few years. I like the variety. They really try to grow a lot of different crops.
I remember my first week just being like, oh my gosh, I learned so much. My brain was just filled with images of soil and little seedling. I realized that I really liked this kind of work.
I'm here to learn more about sustainable agriculture. They really helped me to learn more about vegetables, the whole process of what goes into what we eat.
I guess before I was working here, I never really thought about it too much. I just sort of, picked it up at the grocery store. I think it's been really cool so far to see where all the food's been coming from. It's been a great experience so far. It's fun, yeah.
Really, we're able to engage the community. It's engaged adults and children alike. It's engaged schools to go and taste food straight from the ground and to learn about the value of that food.
My favorite part of the tour, honestly, was picking foods and just anything off the trees, because you can't do that anywhere. They were so delicious. They were really sweet.
When I first broke ground in one of the fields, Lisa Kijek, director of the Bird Conservation Program, came running down the hill telling me that I was killing the song sparrows that were nesting in the grasses. That started the dialogue of habitat restoration and maintaining the bird habitat.
Birds spend a third of their life in migration, and they're flying hundreds of miles at a time. They have to be able to look down and find suitable habitat to rest, feed, and recover before they continue on their journey. Birds come from Canada, Maine, New England, and migrate through here down to Florida, Texas, and to Central and South America.
When I first started here, the most amazing thing to me was the diversity of bird life so close to Center City, Philadelphia, so close to a major urban area.
The bird banding program is a long-term monitoring program. We look at spring and fall migration. We do a breeding bird survey in the summer in the woodland habitat, and then we also look at northern saw-whet owls in late fall. There's a lot of research opportunities here because this creates a great field station for students who want to work outside and collect data and get experience in wildlife biology.
I will be analyzing and studying different areas of the habitat situations to see which rodent species are around, which is the primary food source of the northern saw-whet owl. Here at Rushton we have multiple habitat types. You have the hedgerow, you have the wooded areas, you have the farmland areas, and you have true grassland. And now they have ample protection and ample food sources.
People come here and they see the bird up close in the hand, and they see the science that is being done firsthand. And then when they leave here and go back to their yards, they never look at birds the same way.
Let it open your hand. There you go.
I am 11 years old. I am a volunteer here at bird banding program. I've liked birds for a long time. So once you catch a bird, it's extracted and then it's placed in bird bags, and then they're taken to the banding station. And the first thing that we do with them is we put the band on them. And then we'll try to sex them, see if they're male or female. We'll figure out how old they are, and we will measure their wing, check to see how much they're molting, if they have fat. We'll of course identify the species.
The bird program is used for indicating success in the other program. When we do a shrub-scrub habitat restoration, we can see through our monitoring efforts what impact that is on the birds.
Well, scrub-shrub habitat is really critical for birds. We've done some scrub-shrub habitat restoration work right near where we do the bird banding.
Stewardship is about maintaining habitat in a certain way that benefits the most amount of wildlife.
Stewardship encompasses all different systems, whether they're natural systems and or the human systems. In a case like Rushton, where you have agriculture and natural systems together, it's critical that we work on both sides of that equation in a way where they work together symbiotically. Each year we mow all of the open fields to keep the invasive plants at bay, but then we don't touch them again for another year so that the insects and the birds are uninterrupted and left alone during the spring, summer, and fall. The other things that we do is we actively manage our trails.
The real connection between Rushton Woods Preserve, our other preserves, and all of the land that's under easement is the real trail connectivity.
Making sure that it's a safe, enjoyable place in a way where those activities are not intruding upon the animals and the insects.
We found a lot of American toads and 3 species of salamanders, 1 box turtle.
BioBlitzes are a nice way to get a snapshot of the biodiversity of an area. We did bats, an owl walk, we had herpers, that's our reptiles, amphibian people walking around just finding what they can. We had moths and insects lighting. We had point counts this morning for birds. Plant surveys will start soon. We have that collecting bugs. We put these little pitfall traps in here. We also have a Jolie Chilek is doing water quality and aquatic invertebrates.
The macroinvertebrates are in classes, and the class 1 insects that I'll be looking for can tolerate very little pollution. Class 2 can tolerate a bit of pollution, and class 3 can be in very polluted water. So far, I came and did a preliminary study yesterday. I've found mayflies and caddisflies, so very good, because that would indicate a high quality of water.
We have a number of different volunteers who come out to our preserves during the year, from third graders to adults for community service. Getting your hands dirty, doing some things that you typically don't do. And the beauty behind that regular visitation is that they build a history with the place, and they're able to see how it changes from season to season.
At Rushton Woods Preserve, we touch the local community, the people that live here. We touch the people that we help through our donations. We really have started to get so involved with the students. We touch a whole lot of different aspects.
One of our objectives here at Rushton is to be an example of what can be done on a piece of preserved land for other landowners, other land trusts.
If we had a lot of small farms like this around the Philadelphia area, we'd be getting a lot of food into the city of Philadelphia if it was on conserved lands.
You're able to bring more people in that can also experience that strong connection.
There are a lot of other urban areas that are much like this, that have a similar landscape history. Boston, Baltimore, Washington, D.C., that could have protected green space right nearby.
You can just see the impact of this one small place upon a much larger area because it is part of something bigger.